Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome to my kitchen and this week's episode of Wildtree Wednesday. Uh, Happy Veterans Day. I'm glad that you were able to make it. So today we're doing shrimp po' boy, buffalo shrimp po' boy sandwiches. It's a really simple, really quick recipe that I know that you're going to love. Today we're going to be featuring in that the Blazing Buffalo blend from Wildtree. Hoping that you can see that there. This is one of my favorite products, and it is available this month in the bundle, the Autumn Fair bundle from Wildtree. We also have the Rancher Steak Rub in the bundle, the Spice Cranberry Jam, which is a limited time product that you can get when you order the Autumn Fair bundle. Of course, the Ethiopian spice blend, which gives a warm, spicy heat to many dishes. And then also for this recipe, I'm using some of our Wildtree natural grapeseed oil. Um, this is great for cooking. It has a very high heat point. It is not in the bundle, but if you're going to place an order, I would really strongly suggest that you add one of these in your cart too. You'll absolutely love it. So I'm just going to move the products out of the way here so that we can get started today. Try to arrange them so you can keep on seeing them a little bit here. And that you like my fall display, I'm trying to be creative for you all. And I'm going to get this out of the way and just stick it behind me over here. So as I said, today's sandwich is super simple to do. I've got my pan started warming up here already, and I'm just going to increase the heat here to about medium heat, and I'm going to add my grapeseed oil to the pan. Is my first step. Now these, I'm using raw shrimp here, and these shrimp, I always like to thaw them because I keep them in my freezer for when I need just a few. And so I'll put a little cold water with, a tablespoon or two of lemon juice and a little bit of salt to thaw them. That will help you get rid of some of the fishy taste in the shrimp. And then you're just going to want to make sure that you drain them really well before you use them and pat them dry with some paper toweling. So I've got the shrimp ready to go here. And I've got the two things that I'm adding is my cornmeal, and I've got just 2 tablespoons of cornmeal. Oh, and the shrimp, by the way, I've detailed them. I've taken the tails all off so that they're ready to go, and you don't have to worry about the tails in the food when you eat it. So you're just going to sprinkle the cornmeal over top, and then I've got a tablespoon and a half of the Blazing Buffalo sauce here that I'm using. And I've got just some small tongs that I'm going to mix this up to coat those shrimp, give them a nice little coating as I go here, stirring them around. This Blazing Buffalo blend seasoning is really nice. You don't have to add in any extra ingredient like a flour or anything to really coat up your foods before you have those ready to go into the pan. So nobody's going to argue. New Orleans has, or New Orleans, as a lot of people say, um, they claim the po' boy as their sandwich, and rightfully so. Um, they have such a rich food culture, and that's one of the things. I've never been to New Orleans, but I would love to go sometime. We've had friends who have been there. So I'm just placing these shrimp into the pan. And the po' boy sandwich seems to have generated from New Orleans. See, I'm almost sounding like one of those Southerners, New Orleans. So I'm getting those all placed into the pan. They're nicely coated. And these are just going to cook for 2 to 3 minutes per side until they're opaque and the pinkness in those has gone away. I'll set that over there. I might need my tongs again. And that seems a little high, so I'm just going to go down a tiny bit with my heat. So the po' boy sandwiches, I've heard them called poor boys, po' boys, po' boy. It's a 6-inch long sandwich, or foot long, made on a foot long baguette. And it's a style of bread. If you're not familiar with what a baguette is, it's a style of bread, and that's a French bread is the way that it's made. And I've just toasted up, cut in half, and then toasted up my baguettes up ahead of time because I need to be gluten-free. I am using these Udi's French baguettes. They're perfect and easy to find. They are a little more pricey, but again, if you need to be gluten-free, of course, you're going to have to look at getting a bread that is gluten-free. So these are delicious. You also could make these sandwiches on a sub roll or on a what's the name of it that I'm looking for? Anyway, like a dinner roll even, that you could cut in half and that you could use for that. So while these are cooking up, I'm just going to start flipping a little bit here. My brain starts spinning, and then I can't think of what I wanted to tell you, the other type of roll. But really, if you look for some type of a bread, whether you have to be gluten-free or not, that is kind of a long oblong sandwich roll, that would work very well. So while that is, while those shrimp are cooking up, I'm just going to add in, I've got a few more things that I'm using that we're going to add in to make the sauce to go on these. So this includes capers. You're going to find the capers over by the olives and that in your grocery section. If you're not familiar with capers, I just wanted to kind of show you, hopefully you can see, they are a tiny, in the olive family, they are kind of salty and they have very, very good flavor. So I've got a half a cup of mayonnaise and just a teaspoon of Dijon mustard here. I've got a tablespoon of our blazing buffalo sauce. I've got the juice from half of a lemon that I'm putting in. And then I've got about a teaspoon and a half of capers and minced garlic that we'll put in here also. So I just kind of scrape this out, get all the good stuff in there. And I'm using my little bitty mini whisk just to whisk everything up. Really, really simple sauce. That's very, very tasty and comes together really quickly. So a po' boy sandwich is really a sandwich that, for no other terms to explain it, it's a pretty modest sandwich. It's got your sauce on there, some lettuce, tomato, and then of course we're using shrimp today. Po' boy sandwiches in New Orleans also can have roast beef in them from time to time. Let's use my spatula and turn those again. Might take a couple times to keep turning these just so that they evenly cook, but it only takes a few moments, 2 to 3 minutes per side really. And they're gonna, the reason for trying to dry them off before you put your cornmeal and your blazing buffalo blend sauce on them is so that you don't have a lot of extra moisture going into the pan, because the shrimp are already moist. So now that sauce is all stirred up and ready to go on our sandwiches, and we will slather, tastes pretty good. We will slather that on in just a minute when we get ready to put them together. The sauce gives the sandwich kind of a little tangy flavor to it. Again, when you order our monthly collection, you're going to get 8 recipes, and each of the recipes comes with a digital recipe card. So this is the one for the buffalo shrimp po' boy sandwich. On the front, you're going to have your grocery list. You will have how many servings. This makes about 4. So if you have 2 baguettes, you cut them in half to about 6 inches long. And then your nutrition information. On the back side here, you have your ingredients listed, the kitchen tools that you'll need, and every recipe is explained in usually 5 to 6 steps there. So you'll receive that. Looks like the shrimp are just about done. I'm just gonna give them a quick flip one more time. And if you know me, have known me for very long, you know that I love history, especially food history. That's one of the reasons I love this job so much. And I just wanted to share a few things that I thought were interesting about po' boy sandwiches. So the sandwich itself has been present in New Orleans since about the late 1800s from what I found. It was originally called an oyster loaf, literally fried oysters on a French baguette. And the origins of when it started to be called a po' boy sandwich actually are not too certain because of a lot of different legends that have attached themselves to the sandwich name over the years. And the most common consensus to explain the po' boy sandwich, and that term actually is in the mid 1910s. Two brothers named Bernie and Clovis Martin moved to New Orleans from their home in Louisiana to work as streetcar conductors. And just turn this off for a minute as I'm finishing up here, because I thought this was so interesting. I just had to share it with you. So they moved from their home in Louisiana to work as streetcar conductors. And then in 1922, the brothers decided to open up a restaurant. It was called Martin Brothers Coffee Stand and Restaurant, and they specialized in French loaf sandwiches. So these sandwiches wouldn't be called po' boys until 1929, when members of the Amalgamated Association of Street and Electric Railway Employees of America, Division 194, they went on a 4-month-long strike, and thereby they were leaving over 1,000 union streetcar workers without a source of income. So the Martin brothers, to show their support, because they had worked in that job and in that industry, to show their support for the workers affected by the strike, they wrote a letter to one of the local newspapers and said that they would be willing to give a free meal to any of the members of Division 194. So as the legend has it, that's when the brothers saw that actually happened. And then the brothers, when they saw the union workers coming into their restaurant, they would yell from the front to the back, "Here comes another poor boy." And so that's how it all happened. And since the meal was given to these workers so often, included in the customary sandwich, the name poor boy or po' boy became associated with the sandwich itself. And I just thought that that was such a fun food story that I really wanted to share it with you. So now I'm going to take one of my baguettes. Our shrimp are all done here. I get a little spoon, so I'm going to drizzle some of this along the sandwich, both sides. And because we have a lot of sauce, I'm making it, you want it to be pretty soupy actually also. And spread that alongside each side. I've got my lettuce and tomato all ready ahead of time. So I'm just going to lay some of that in there. And just like Subway, we're going to line up our tomatoes down the center of the sandwich. There we go. And put our shrimp up here proudly on top. And because we love shrimp, we're going to try to squeeze them, several of them in here. Tasty. So, a little spicy too. So here we go with our sandwich. Actually, I'm going to cut that in half. Okay. See how well I can do this here. I grabbed these cute little baskets at the dollar store, makes it seem just like you're in New Orleans. These are traditionally served with pickles. So I've got some hamburger dills alongside. I thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the little history lesson with the po' boy sandwich. Please like me, share me with your family and friends, and visit my site gfreedeliciously.com for the recipe and my take on it. That recipe should be up hopefully by tomorrow. Thank you so much. Sending my love. Bye-bye.